say if Chinakhov is in tonight?
He's in.
He's in.
Yes.
Does he go right into Domi's spot? So it's.
I won't give you my lines now, but he's going to get a good look tonight.
I was just going to wonder if you had concerns about having two really young guys, two rookies on the same line.
Yeah. You'll see tonight.
Korpi tonight?
Korpi's going tonight, yes.
Brad, I know you've talked a lot about your fourth line. Could you just kind of address the energy that you get from them and what kind of identity they can help form, even though it's real early in the season?
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear what we want from them. I talked to them before the last game, and they were much better the second game than game one for me. They're on their toes, more assertive. I think Curls had 9 hits that game. We want that physical brand from those guys, but their legs are going to do a lot of damage. I want them to be able to think it, be sharp in their structure, but using their energy and their legs, that's going to be number one priority for that group.
Yeah, how much of an asset is it to have a physical line that's also got that speed?
Yeah, I want that from all 12 guys up front and our D also. It's finish when you can. Don't chase the hits, but our best asset is our legs and making sure we're skating. And now when you're on the road, it's a much different look. I don't get last change, so it's just about building trust and getting those guys out. Doesn't matter who they're playing against; they should be able to play against anybody, and that's where the dynamic changed a little bit on the road.
Brad, how much do you feel for Max coming back on the road?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right? You got to battle through this stuff. He works so hard to get back, and what do you say? It's just another challenge for him, and he's up for it. It's frustrating, but it's what's done is done. Just deal with what's in front of us, and that's what it is. So I know he'll put the work in just to try and get back and heal up, and hopefully he's back sooner than later.
He seemed to be playing about as well as you've seen him play in Columbus. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, in the short time I saw him, I mean, you could tell his legs were there. He's an energized player, and I'm sure having the first game he did, that really helped as far as your confidence, and just he's on his toes and dangerous. Even last game, I mean, he finished the game hurt and played through it, and he had some chances in the third. So, kudos to him to get through that, because that's not an easy thing to do.
That is obviously the style you would like him to be playing, right? Going after guys, getting on the forecheck, hitting people, things like that.
Yeah, his energy is infectious, and again, it's that controlled emotion. There's that line you don't want to cross, and with all our guys. But the one thing that jumped out at me right away was just his legs and what it looked like. I noticed it in practice when he's excited to get back, but man, he can fly, and then he's got the skill too, and he can do things at pace, and that's what I really liked about his game is he was looking real good. But again, this hockey is what happens.
Yeah, I know Larson's a big guy, for the Adam Larsen, but you don't want guys thinking like they're going to pull up or whatever.
No.
Because you want them doing what Max did.
100%. Yeah, it's hockey. I mean, it's like taking a shot. I want guys blocking shots. You might break a leg, break a toe or foot. It's part of the game.
Sure. How about with Chinakhov? He obviously had that big Traverse City performance, scored 6 goals up there. What did you see out of him in training camp? I mean, from the beginning to the end. At the end, what were some areas that maybe he developed?
That seems like a long time away from me, the Traverse City. I think that's great, but we've gone through a camp, and one thing I'll say about him is I think he's plugged into what we're doing. He thinks the game really well. Everyone talks about a shot. A shot's great. He's got great legs. I think it's more, his details, and that's what's going to build trust and get him more ice time. And that's what I've seen in camp. I think the more you watch him, the closer you watch him in games, he thinks it really well. So I'm not hesitant putting him in. I'm excited to see what he does tonight.
How much did you read into how he handled going to Cleveland? Did you get a good report from his one game up there?
Yeah, I know he scored from his shot, but I heard he worked. He was smiling. He was excited to play. Great to hear from a young man going down there. It's guys are going to go through it. I'm always curious to see how they're going to handle it, and he seemed to handle it great.
You mentioned last change there. With such a young team, is that something you really have to be cognizant of when you kind of get into these road games and start playing on the road here?
Well, we'll see. I trust my group. I like our 4 lines right now. I'm not going to get too deeper into that, but as of right now, as long as everybody's plugged into the game and playing well, I feel very comfortable with our lineup right now.
Yeah, you've talked about that before, about wanting that four-line mix, basically. That fourth line, especially when they're going, how much better can that make you guys if they can play 11, 12, 13 minutes a night? Or whatever?
Well, I think it's imperative. You look at the schedule, how condensed it is, and you got 82 games. To survive on 3 lines, or less for an 82-game schedule, you really start taxing some guys. And I just think the way we skate, the way we are, and again, we're still very early here. It's just about building that trust factor. And the more that I see it, the more it gives me the ability, especially last game with one power play. You could really roll your four lines. And sometimes special teams dictates who's out there and who's not. And that can mess up some of your flow. But last game, it just was what it was. It was great.
The scheduled start for Corpy that you guys had in the, kind of been plotting things out, or is this just kind of a feel thing?
Well, I said it from the start. I don't want him sitting on. He's a heck of a goalie. He's had a good camp too, and so I don't want him not playing. I think he had a good enough camp where he's got to get the net, and then we'll make our decision from